Hey guys, it's Alicia Rain and welcome back to my channel, Rainy Reads. I was going to start this video today. I was going to start it later, but I'm starting it now because I just started rewatching the Hunger Games movies with my boyfriend, and we are halfway through Catching Fire, which was my favorite, and I'm constantly questioning why I've never read the books. So we're spontaneously going to Barnes & Noble so I can buy the trilogy, because I'm just even more obsessed with the movies this time around than I've ever been before. And I remember trying to read the books when I was younger. For some reason I just couldn't get into it, but I really want to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I think it's Sunrise on the Reaping, especially because that movie is going to be made, I think, and come out next year. So yeah, we're gonna go to Barnes. I also am gonna do a little haul with some other stuff that I got recently that's book related and not. But yeah, I'm gonna do that after I get back from the store so I can just show you guys everything that I've gotten over the last few days. Okay, you guys, I did notice that the audio might be a little different in that first clip because I didn't have my microphone attached to my camera. I was very tired. If you could not tell from that, I'm still very tired. It's just been a long weekend. So much happened. It was a great weekend, but I am truly so exhausted, and I have a very probably mentally exhausting week ahead of me. So this is going to feed into my haul for you guys, by the way. Like, this is not just some side tangent. This all goes together. I think maybe a few days after I ended the last vlog, my boyfriend and I went out and went shopping. So I will show you that first. Okay, so my boyfriend and I went to this retro video game store by us, but they also sell Funko Pops and a bunch of other random things. I've been wanting a Daenerys Funko Pop from Game of Thrones for so long. I've seen ones where she's actually, I don't know if I can say that because that might be a spoiler. When I saw this, I was very excited. It's her riding Drogon, one of the dragons. I will be taking it out of the box to put on my shelf. My boyfriend and I both love Game of Thrones. We've both read the book series. He's watched the show. I haven't. We just started watching it and I'm loving it so much so far. Then we went to Bath & Body Works because I had a gift card that I think was from Christmas and I've just been holding on to it. And since we just moved into the apartment, we got some soap and a candle. This one is dragon fruit and palm leaves. And then this one was eucalyptus mint. And then this is the candle we got, Lakeside Morning. It says it smells like crisp air, driftwood, and fresh green apple. And even though I have a lot of candles, I just thought it would be cute and fun for us to pick a candle out ourselves because my boyfriend and I are always burning candles, even the unscented ones. We just like having candles burning all the time. So I think that was all on a Thursday. Yeah, that was on last Thursday. Today's Sunday as I'm filming this. So my boyfriend and I just chilled at the apartment, went out and did a little random shopping around, trying to get used to the new area because we're not really familiar with where we moved. And then Friday I drove out to go visit my dad and some family, which was really fun. And then we also went to a retro video game store and I ended up finding this Funko Pop, which I thought was really cool. This one is Ghostface, and the mask actually glows in the dark. When I did watch horror movies, Scream was one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love this. I'm gonna have a little horror shelf on one of my bookshelves for the fall time, and this will look so cute. And then my dad was trading in games, so we had to wait for them to get an estimate of how much money that would be or store credit he would get, and there was a Barnes & Noble a block away. So I was like, I'm actually not gonna wait here. I'm gonna go look at the books. And so I did get a book from Barnes on Friday. This is Battle Royale by 𝑾𝒂𝒕𝒄𝒉, I think is how you say the author's name. I've heard people talk about this for years. It's been on my list. I've just never seen it in the physical Barnes store. I've only seen it available online. And I always, for some reason, thought that this was a manga, but no, it's just a normal book, and it is 700 pages long. All I know about this is that I think it's a junior high class that gets taken to a deserted island, and they're like left with all of these weapons, and only one person can survive. So it's kind of giving Lord of the Flies and like Hunger Games. So I'm really excited to read this. So Friday I went and did that with my dad and just visited and spent time with that side of the family. And then I didn't get a picture with her, but I had so much fun on Saturday. I met up with one of my friends that I made online named Ozzy. If you don't know her channel, it's Ozzy's Orbit. I'll have it linked down below. She's genuinely so sweet, and we had so much fun hanging out. She was back in Michigan. She's going to school right now in a different state, so she wanted to meet up, and I was like, absolutely, because we were both talking about how we don't really know a lot of people that are doing book stuff like this on YouTube or on Instagram with all the Booksta accounts over there that are in Michigan and our age. So it was so fun meeting up. We went to a few different spots actually. First we met up at a cafe lounge, which is just a little cafe with cats that you can adopt. We played with the cats for a little bit, and then we drove to a market, and they had a bunch of different booths there with all different kinds of things. And we found this one. We both ended up getting different prints, but prints from this one booth. I think she got I think it was like botanical, like tomato plant, and it was really cute and pretty. I ended up getting this one to go in the cozy room that I'm filming in right now. It's a Totoro art print, and it was absolutely so cute. So I can't wait to put this on my wall in here. And then we also went to 2 bookstores. I did end up buying 2 books from the first one that we went to, and then I was good and I did not buy books from the other place. I believe the first one we went to was a used bookstore, so all of these were not like the normal price that they would have been at. This one I've never heard of before, but the cover really caught my attention and it sounds really interesting. It's called Moths in Moonlight by Krista Vazendine. I have no idea if that's right, but I love this cover so much. And basically we're following a character that's died, and her spirit and memories are replaced with those of a spiritualist, and they're trying to find that ghost's killer. And it kind of seems like they're like battling who's like in control of the spiritualist body, which could be very interesting. And it's also talking about shadow creatures that feed on young spirits, and a detective that's like assigned to the case. So it definitely seems like it would be a fantasy, but like a thriller mystery as well. So I'm very intrigued by this. And then this other book I've already read, but I've been wanting this edition specifically just because I love the cover. And it's Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, the hardback edition. I don't own the hardback for The Shining, which is the first book in this like little duology situation. This is the, oh my gosh, I literally read books all the time. Why can't I think of the sequel, not the prequel, the sequel to The Shining. So it follows the little boy in that book as he's grown up, and he's trying to help this little girl that also has The Shining, and this really evil group of people called the True Knot are coming after her because they kind of like consume the essence of the gift of The Shining. And yeah, it's really wild. I watched the movie first. I really, really loved that movie. But yeah, this book, really, really good. I'm obsessed with it because I believe this is supposed to be the lady that's like the head of the True Knot, and like the smoke is supposed to be like the shining essence, because that's how it's described and portrayed in the book and the movie. So I just thought this was really cool, and I'm really excited about it. And then after Ozzy and I went to those bookstores, we went and got Indian food, and it was so good. I ended up getting this lamb curry. Usually I just get butter chicken, but yeah, I'm really excited I tried the lamb curry. And yeah, it was just so fun. I know Ozzy will be watching this, so I had so much fun meeting you. I know I said it before and I had a great time, but I genuinely can't wait to meet up again. And yeah, that was my Saturday. Now it's Sunday, and I just went, as you saw, to Barnes, and I did more damage than necessary. I was going to only get the first 3 books in the trilogy when I found if I could find a box set, but I forgot certain editions came out of all the books The only one that isn't out yet for that is Sunrise on the Reaping, because that was just a recent release, but I ended up buying those, so let me get those for you. Oh my gosh, like, I saw people share the covers of these online. I just didn't think I was gonna get them, but oh my gosh, rewatching the Hunger Games movies, I'm sitting there questioning why I've never like tried again, because usually I think the books are so much better than the movies, but those movies genuinely altered my brain chemistry as a child. And I just get so emotional watching them because, you know, the world right now, everything going on, like that shit happens in real life. Like, it's not that far out there of things that are going on right now. I'm obsessed with these editions. All of the edges are sprayed and match. I don't think I'm gonna do a reading vlog dedicated to this, maybe for the 2 prequel books. So this is Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the first prequel to the main trilogy. And then the next 3 are just the main trilogy. So this is the Hunger Games. Then we have Catching Fire. And then the Mockingjay. Like, I'm genuinely so in love with these covers. I really hope I like the books. I don't know how I wouldn't, but I am a little nervous. So already got 1 more book than originally planned, technically 4, because I just bought 3 books. I really was not planning on buying more books than I already bought this weekend, but if you could not tell, I really like Funkos, and they had a certain Funko Pop that I saw. I showed it in my little B-roll montage of when we were at the store, and I had to get it. I just had to get it. It's a limited edition exclusive of Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse, and she's literally hanging upside down. And if you don't know this, which I don't really talk about it much, but I love Marvel movies. Now, I have not been super up to date recently in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I do love the Marvel movies. I watched them all the time growing up. Spider-Man is my favorite. I love the Into the Spider-Verse movies so much. I'm very excited for the next one to come out. That cliffhanger, oh my god. Like, I need to know what happens. But yeah, I love this. I don't have a Gwen Funko yet. I have a couple Spider-Man ones, but I'm so happy to have her in my collection. And then if you watched my last vlog, I got a little mystery box to open on my vlog, and that was from a store all the way out in Ann Arbor, which is pretty far from where I live right now. And this Barnes was a little ways away because we didn't have one pretty close to us, and I was not expecting to find the mystery box, but I found the same one. And it's the Botanical Harmony Unicorno mystery box, and they are all so adorable. And I just had to get one, and it was like $2 or $3 cheaper than the place I got the first one from. And I'll show you what I got in the first one that I opened last weekend. It was the little bonsai one, and it looked so cute, but I wanted to try and get another one. And this is where it starts getting dangerous, because I just don't want to get a lot of repeats, you guys. But these ones are so cute. Like, I would literally be happy with any of them. I just really don't want a duplicate. Oh, this one's cute. I don't know exactly what plant this is supposed to be, but the name under it is Prosperity on the box. This is so cute, you guys. I'm literally so obsessed with this. I'm not even a big unicorn gal, but these are making me a unicorn gal. I'm gonna have so many little unicorns on my desk now. Just a preference for this reading vlog. I don't know exactly how this is gonna go down because I have my tonsil surgery tomorrow. I have to get my tonsils removed. I'm sure you don't know, but I mostly talked about it on my bookstagram. I got strep back to back 7 or 8 times, maybe 9 times in a 6-month period last year. And long story short, it was a whole hassle of me getting insurance, and I finally have my surgery coming up. It might be a little different. I might not be talking as much. I might put some text on the screen just depending on how much my throat hurts. But that is tomorrow, and not really excited about it, but I'm just hoping that it lessens my chances of getting strep. I haven't gotten it since February, and it's now June, but still, it just like needs to get done. It's causing me unnecessary problems. But yeah, that's this spontaneous beginning to this vlog, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
It's the day after my surgery. I hope you can hear me. I don't want to be like uncomfortably close to the camera. The whole process was definitely interesting. The surgery, like operation itself, was only 30 minutes. It went really quickly and it went by fast. I had to get there at 12:30. I didn't even get into surgery until 2 because they couldn't get the IV in me. First, the lady tried this hand and it didn't take. Then she tried this hand and I could feel it moving under my skin and I almost passed out. So they had to elevate my feet and give me a cold towel. Then they called in this other lady to try and look. She was going to try here but didn't fully go through. So like technically she did try here. Then they saw a bigger vein on this arm, so they tried that and it also didn't work. So they had to call in someone to bring in a ultrasound to look for my veins. So not only was I dehydrated, I also just have really small veins apparently. So that one finally took 5 tries. The drive from where I was getting the procedure done to my apartment is like 40 minutes. So I kept like falling asleep, like on and off. And then like the last 5 minutes I thought I was gonna throw up. And then my mom and Graham said they think I passed out. And then my boyfriend had just gotten home like 20 minutes before we got there. And he had to carry me up all 3 flights of stairs into the apartment. But yeah, not thriving right now. Not thriving at all. Luckily I slept pretty well. But yeah, not that happy, honestly. I mean, who would? My tonsils got ripped out. And they also said your healing process is like this. Like I could feel great tomorrow and I'll go back to feeling like this. So yeah, it's just gonna be interesting. All of this. I guess I'm documenting my healing process as well in this video. I do have stuff to work from home if I'm feeling like it. Not really feeling like it right now, but I'm definitely more aware than I was yesterday. I was coming down off anesthesia and on my pain meds, so I was a little bit loopy yesterday. Luckily I didn't say any like wild embarrassing things. My boyfriend and I are trying to, I didn't even say this yesterday, we're possibly going to be getting a kitten. So I've been researching like crazy and I came to after surgery and I started blabbing about different litter that would be best for the kitten and how I don't think the one we bought would actually be good. And then the new season of Stranger Things is coming out and I've been wanting to rewatch it, and then I started crying that I wanted to watch the very first episode with my mom when I got home. So that kind of sums up what state I was in yesterday. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick check-in so you guys knew what was going on. I'll elaborate more on like all the kitten stuff on a different day. I don't know the next time I'll do a check-in just yet, but yeah, that's what's happening with me. Hey y'all, it's been a few days and I have not read a single thing. My medicine has truly left me feeling so disgusting. I've just been taking my medicine and sleeping or watching YouTube. It like just hurts to do just about anything, honestly. If I take my medicine, it makes me pretty like drowsy. So I usually end up falling asleep because it also makes me nauseous. And if I do power through and stay awake, I cannot concentrate enough to read. So just been trying to eat when I can, stay hydrated, and sleep mostly, like I said. But I have started rewatching Stranger Things from the beginning because season 5 is coming out in November. It's honestly one of my favorite shows of all time, and I just want everything fresh in my brain for the final season. So I did start watching that. I just ate some breakfast, but since I moved, I wasn't able to change my address yet, but I'm very excited because my most anticipated release of 2025 came in the mail at my old house. My grandma dropped it off this morning. It's Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. So I wanted to open it on camera with you guys. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so excited to read this. You have no idea. I pre-ordered this all the way back in September and it should be signed. It's signed. Oh my god. Oh my god, I need to stop looking at it and talk to you real quick. So I want to start reading this as soon as possible, but I made this my book club's buddy read for July. But yeah, that's really all I have to update you guys on. Really bummed that I haven't been able to read anything just because I have been home all week, but I just also have like a minor headache constantly, and yeah, it just hurts too much to even try and concentrate to read. Even if I listen to an audiobook, then I'm like falling asleep. Tomorrow, my boyfriend and I are getting the kitten. I'm pretty sure I did an update about that. I'm very, very excited. I don't know if I'll bring the camera to film anything just because I don't really want to film at this woman's house. Maybe I'll film a little bit tomorrow, definitely when we get home. Tomorrow also happens to be Friday the 13th. So my boyfriend and I are gonna try and do like a summerween like movie night. I wasn't really thinking about my throat being such a problem. I was gonna make a bunch of cute treats that were like Halloween themed, and that's just not gonna be able to happen now. I'm literally just making cupcakes because I think that's the only thing I can manage to eat. So we're gonna make cupcakes tomorrow and watch some spooky movies. He's never seen Coraline, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I know we're watching that. That's my update for now, but I will see you guys tomorrow when we go and pick up the kitten.
Hey guys, it's a big time jump later. A lot of things did not go according to plan. I really didn't film anything in June. I severely underestimated how much my medication for recovering after my surgery was going to knock me down. I really only read 2 books last month, and it wasn't even until like the last week of the month that I read anything. So I definitely did not get to do the video exactly how I wanted. I wanted to do a video where I read my most anticipated reads of the year, and I have 2 books that I want to read. One is my book club book for the month, and I'm actually gonna buddy read that like directly with Ozzy, my friend that I mentioned in the beginning of this video that I met back in the beginning of June. And that book is going to be Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I'm super excited to read this. I think I'm going to keep the clip where I unboxed it in this vlog. You may or may not have seen that. But the other book that I'm hoping to read is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I don't have the physical copy of that. I've had it on hold on the Libby app so I can read it on my Kindle. So I'm definitely going to start this one first, and then hopefully at some point this month I will get that available because I really want to get this vlog out as soon as I can. And I still need to film my mid-year wrap-up because it honestly took me a couple days past June to finish last month's book club read for my book club, which was The Song of Achilles. Honestly, I wasn't really feeling it that much. I feel like I should have soft DNF'd it because I just don't think I was really in the right space to be reading that. Not saying like bad mental space or anything, I just don't think it was the right time for me to read it, but because it was my book club's book pick, I felt like I had to, so that might have soured the reading experience a little bit, and I still don't know how I want to rate that, honestly. I just really wanted to love it, and I didn't, and that's okay. Like, everyone's book opinion is going to be different. I was just very surprised that I didn't like it as much as I did because I read Circe by the same author, loved that one, gave it 5 stars, and I definitely hear people talk about Song of Achilles more. So once I figure out what I want to rate that, then I can figure out all my statistics for the first half of the year, and I will film my mid-year reading wrap-up and hopefully get that up soon. That should be the last video that was uploaded before this one if you want to check that out. Once I decide my rating for Song of Achilles, I will update my reading journal, which I will include in this vlog. I've really been slacking on that. I've kind of been slacking on a lot of things in like reference to like my book life, so hoping I can just get back on track. But yeah, so Ozzy and I will be reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. We decided to break it up into like 4 parts. So I need to read the first 130 pages of this by next Saturday, which is 1 week from now. I'm hoping I can get a good chunk read today. I don't really have anything else going on besides that tomorrow and me trying to read today. Actually, I'm gonna officially introduce you to my cat. I tried filming a clip. I don't think I kept it in this vlog because she was just meowing so much and she's actually a little sleepy right now. Okay guys, so this is Pumpkin. I hope it's focused. I don't have my glasses on. I'm sure you could probably tell a little bit from the clips I filmed when we first got her. She's already gotten bigger. So we've had her for almost a month. Just quick story time about how we decided to get this little girl. When Ozzy and I, in the beginning of June, went to the Cafe Lounge, I didn't fully understand how the adoption process worked, at least specifically for where that place was, and it just seemed like a very long process, honestly. And the kitten Grant and I were looking at wasn't even there. It was in a foster home, so it took at least 10 days to hear back when you applied for a cat, and then you had to schedule a like meet and greet at the foster home for the kitten. So I didn't really want to do that. And then coincidentally, a family friend's neighbor's cat had kittens about like 2 months ago when this happened, and she worked 12-hour days 6 days a week and wasn't even really home at all. So she was trying to find homes for the kittens, and I had her send pictures to me, and I immediately fell in love with this one right here. And so we ended up getting her. And she's already gone to the vet. She's in good health, and she is like the craziest cat ever. She has no medium. She's either tired, like clonked out and super cuddly like right now, or she is running around climbing up my shirt trying to eat my hair, like crazy crackhead level energy. I was struggling a lot trying to think of a name for her. I had a lot of names that I liked. I even did a poll on my Bookstagram at one point because I was so conflicted. But after Grant and I spent more time with her, we settled on the name Pumpkin, which I think is so cute because we got her on Friday the 13th, which was the day that I did that like little summerween movie night with Grant. So it being Friday the 13th, kind of spooky, and like just the colors in her coat, because she's a little calico. She has black, white, and then orange, and it was giving like fall vibes. So we were also trying to think of like an autumnal name for her, and like just Pumpkin fits, and we love her so much. She definitely keeps us on our toes. I knew it was going to be a challenge having a kitten, but I didn't think it was going to be so challenging sometimes. I'm going to give her lunch because it's about that time, and then I'm going to start reading Bury Our Bones. Alright you guys, it's a few days later. I'm filming this in my kitchen because I'm about to go take my cat to the vet, but I wanted to do a quick little check-in and update with you guys. I only have gotten to page 54, but I'm really liking the book so far. Again, I really don't know what to expect with this. I don't remember if I explained what I do know about this book, which isn't a lot, but it's just about toxic lesbian vampires. We're following 3 different girls, their perspectives, and somehow their stories are going to get intertwined. And I'm already starting to see the stories intertwine. Basically, let me give you an example. So first we're introduced to one of our main characters, Maria, and her story takes place, or starts at least, in 1532. So we get a character name and a date. And first we start with Maria, and she is younger. She sees this widow making tinctures and tonics, and she's kind of asking if this woman's a witch, and the woman's slightly amused but a little annoyed, and she's like, no, I'm not a witch, I just gather herbs and such. And so
we just have that interaction, and then it jumps to future, which I think it's like 10 years later, and we see her, I don't know if she's actually married or just engaged to this, what is it called, a viscount? I had to look it up. It's basically a rank of nobility or royalty. There's like 5 ranks, I guess, in Europe, if I'm remembering correctly, and viscount is like the bottom of the 5. So she's a viscountess, because I had never heard that word before, so I did look it up. And so he has a lot of money, very rich, which she does like that aspect, but he's just a very controlling, demanding man, and makes her do things that she does not want to do in the, like, I'm trying to say this because I don't know what words are going to get me, you know, possibly in trouble with YouTube. Do things in general in the bedroom that she doesn't want to do. So she's also trying to take little concoctions to prevent getting pregnant. So that's really sad, actually. Meeting her as a child, like, already made me, like, I feel like a little more attached to her. We did meet her as she was younger, and now seeing that this is what her life's turned into just within 50 pages, not even, because we're following other characters throughout that, like, I'm already like feeling for her. And next we meet Alice, and her year is 2019 in Boston, and she's 18, just got to university. She's, I don't know how you would describe her. She's definitely a little more reserved, I would think. I think that would make sense to say, and a little more like in her head. But she goes out with some friends, she's getting intoxicated, and she locks eyes with this other girl. They end up going back to, I think, Alice's place. And then we get to the other girl's perspective, which is Lottie. And this is where it starts to get interesting, because you get Lottie's perspective after they sleep together, but it does not have a date with it. So I think this may be our vampire, and I'm very intrigued as to how Maria is going to get involved in all of this. And we really don't get a lot of Lottie. We first meet her when she interacts with Alice, and then we get a very short like section of Lottie's perspective going back to where she lives, and then she keeps a journal with just the name and one sentence to sum up that person of everyone that she's been with, which is very interesting to me. But normally I would think that that's really creepy, but the way that V.E. Schwab wrote this made it seem like she almost didn't really have a choice but to not keep contact with people. So in that sense, it is like sad because she doesn't feel like she can connect with all these people. And so I'm very intrigued to see what that case is about. I actually started playing Vampire Diaries from the beginning in the background as I was reading this, and it was a great decision, I think, because I love that show so much. And I'm also always curious when vampires are involved, whether it be in books or film, what rules are going to be brought up, like what ones are consistent or not. Like, do you have to be invited in to go into buildings? Can you not be in the sunlight? Do you need like a daylight ring or things like that? So I'm very excited to learn that aspect of this book and to see if there are any rules or not. But yeah, I'm only on page 54, like I said. I need to get to page 128 for my discussion with Ozzy in a couple days. So I have a good chunk to read. I honestly think I'm gonna get a lot read today, which would be great because I just want to be able to have time to do other things. I've just been so busy with work, trying to plan things with friends, make time for my boyfriend now that he has a new schedule. I don't know if I said that earlier in the video or not, but he ended up getting a different job, so we do not have the same schedules anymore. And we kind of only have an hour of when I get home and before he leaves to go to work. And then I really shouldn't stay up until he gets home because I get up at 6 a.m. still. But he'll get home at like 10:30, and then I'll try and hang out with him a little bit before I go to bed. So yeah, it's just been a little chaotic. So that's what's happening. Plans for today: read more of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Ideally get to my little like page marker, but as long as I read something today, that's good. Take Pumpkin to the vet, which I shouldn't be there super long. She's just having a little follow-up. And then eat and drink something because I have not done that yet. I'm going to do that before we leave.
And hopefully once I get some caffeine in me, I'm a little more alive, and I would like to film my mid-year reading wrap-up because I finally decided on a rating for Song of Achilles. I was very conflicted about it. I will talk about it more in my mid-year reading wrap-up, which I would hope is up before this video. But yeah, I just have a lot of mixed feelings about that book, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. And then I also have filled out all the stats for each book that I read in the first half of the year, but I have to paste in all the book covers that I printed off, so I think I'll include that in this video. I don't think I have anything else. I might have a few other spreads to update, so I'll include that in here too, whatever I need to update. But yeah, I already did all the statistics, so might not be super interesting, but I just find it like kind of relaxing, honestly, and satisfying to watch people paste stuff in their reading journal, so I'll still include that in here. I just rambled for too long, which I'm good at, so I am going to turn this off, find something to eat, caffeinate myself, and then I will read some more and update my journal, and then depending on what I read, I will give you guys another update on my thoughts. To move locations because my cat was making so much noise, and you can probably hear the vent. But I have 15 pages until I got to the point where I'm supposed to end to talk with Ozzy. I am literally going to have skip times in this video. So originally I was going to have this be its own video with spoilers, and then because I barely read in June, I combined them, and now I am severely regretting that decision. So skip to this timestamp if you don't want any spoilers. I freaking knew. I wish I was filming while I was reading this last part. The look on my face, I literally stood up and slammed my book shut because I'm telling you guys, I literally called it. I just got to the part where Maria got turned into a vampire by Sabine. And when I was looking through the different parts to try and split it up into 4 sections for Ozzy and I didn't really notice Maria anymore. And Maria and the widow, aka Sabine, were talking about how like Maria's name just didn't seem to fit her very much, and the widow told her like, you can choose your own name. And then like as more things were happening, I was just like when the widow's name was revealed as Sabine, I remembered that that was a name that V.E. Schwab was talking about. And then I was like, I don't even remember Maria being brought up, but we've been spending so much time with her. And then I was like, oh my God, she's going to take this woman's name. Something's going to happen to this woman. And now
She literally just said, Maria is no more, my name is Sabine. And that's where I left off. I have 15 pages left. I'm losing my mind. My boyfriend just got home from work and I was reading and I was like, you know, I'm really enjoying this book. I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be 5 stars or not yet. And then everything that just happened within the last few pages happened. And now I'm excited. I'm like ecstatic to keep reading this. I already was excited to keep reading it. Now a vampire has actually been introduced. Someone's turned. I'm pretty sure Alice is in the middle of being turned right now because of how she's been feeling since she's woken up after her night with Lottie. I really like vampires in books and movies. And I literally have just been waiting for this to happen, and I still have so much of this book to read, so I'm so excited. Okay, very quickly, non-spoiler thoughts. I'm really liking this. Some stuff finally happened. I already was enjoying the book, but now I'm really enjoying it and intrigued. I have 15 pages left, and then after I chat with Ozzy tomorrow morning, I will immediately start reading the next like section of this book. Okay, so it has been a very long time since I did another update. So the first week, Ozzy and I were about to call each other and talk about the section of the book that we read. Ozzy told me that she read the entire book already, so I immediately was way behind, and I've just had so much going on in my life. I've had some family stuff go on. We moved locations at work, so that was just a lot. And long story short, I don't really want to rush through the books that I'm reading, so I've been reading this way slower than I was anticipating. So I'm actually about to call Ozzy right now, and I did warn her that I'm still not done with this book. I just got to page 368 and I'm loving it so much. You can kind of see the tabs that I've made. There's just so many parts in here that I love. I haven't highlighted anything because I kind of wait until I get a paperback of a book to annotate it, but I do have a lot of spots tabbed at least, so I know I can go back to it when I finally get the paperback release. You also might hear my cat playing in the background, so sorry about that. First of all, this is about to be spoilers. Skip to the timestamp on the screen for non-spoiler reviews. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So much has happened, and I love every second of it. I don't remember exactly the last time I updated you guys. I know I called the Sabine, or Maria changing her name to Sabine. That whole scene of her killing the Viscount and his family had me gagged, honestly. We've just spent so much time with Sabine that it's really weird that the last few pages I haven't had her point of view, because then we spent a lot of time with Alice getting more background on her, and I have a feeling something may have happened to her sister because every memory that we have is about her sister, and I don't know if it's been talked about. I don't know. But I feel like something probably happened to her sister because they used to be really close. And where I left off, Alice just found Charlotte, and I also just started getting Charlotte's point of view. And I don't have, I have maybe 200 pages left of the book. Maybe not that much, maybe 150. So I find that a very interesting choice because she's kind of just been a mystery this whole time. And I'm relating to all of these girls in different ways, on different levels. And it's just very fun seeing their stories intertwine. I
was not expecting Sabine to make Charlotte kill George, the guy that was trying to marry her. Oh, you can see Pumpkin back there. But yeah, again, I'm just really loving this book. I think the writing's beautiful. There's so many good quotes and moments in here. And yeah, spoiler-free thoughts on the book so far, because I was editing this video at some point and I think my camera died in the first clip when I was gonna do spoiler-free thoughts. I'm absolutely loving the writing in here. All of the characters I'm relating to in some level. I love seeing the stories intertwine. And there's just so many beautiful quotes in here, it's insane. I'm really enjoying these characters. They're each so unique and different, and I really, really enjoy that, but I'm able to relate to all of them in their own way. And I feel like that's really cool to see. And things have really started kicking off now because we finally started getting Charlotte's point of view. It's been 2/3 of this book and we're just now getting her story, which I find that very interesting. And I'm sure there's a reason for that. Yeah, I don't know. I really love Sabine. That might be a little messed up to say considering some things that she does, but I just find her so interesting and captivating. And when you see her interact with other main characters, it's like, because we've spent so much time with her and we know the things that she's done and kind of her personality and her nature and how she goes about being a vampire, you kind of worry watching her interact with another main character because you don't know what she's gonna do. I've been on the edge of my seat. I don't really know. I did in the spoiler section do a theory of what I think could have happened to like a side character, and I don't really want to say that because I don't know if it will be a spoiler. But yeah, I only have like one theory right now. I was able to call one thing in my first clip with spoiler thoughts, and I just don't really have any idea where this book is gonna go. So I'm really excited to continue reading. I'm about to call Ozzy and talk all my thoughts about this, and then I will hopefully finish this book in a few days. I'm about to go on a trip at the end of the week with my boyfriend, and I want to do a different video for that. And yeah, I would just like to have this done before I start any other books. Alright, you guys, I just finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and oh my gosh, I have so much to say but feel like I don't have the words to fully articulate everything that I'm thinking, if that makes sense, in the best way. First of all, look at the amount of tabs I have. Literally insane. There were so many parts that I enjoyed. This has taken me way longer than I wanted to read, but I'm so glad that I took my time to read this and not rush through it for the sake of getting it done in the month that I wanted it to get finished in. Like I said, I just finished and I have so many thoughts, and I'm hoping to keep it as concise as I can. I have not edited this video since the last update, so I don't fully remember what I have talked about yet, so hopefully I don't repeat myself a bunch, but I'm going to first talk about my spoiler thoughts, so skip to this time if you want spoiler-free thoughts on this book. Okay, I have notes. So, first of all, this ending, whoa. I don't fully know what I was expecting, but I am and I'm not happy with it. I don't mind that Charlotte and Sabine died. I kind of expected something to happen to Sabine at least. I wasn't really expecting something to happen to Charlotte. Despite this being over 500 pages long, I feel like the ending was still just slightly rushed for me, and I found it very shocking that Sabine died the way that she did. I just felt like it was done so easily, and I genuinely think that's one thing that I can't really look past, and I really wanted to give this book 5 stars. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 star rating. I really wanted to give it 5, and I know that sometimes, depending on what the thing is that's hindering me, I'll end up changing my mind. If I do, I'll put it on the screen, but as of right now, I still think I'm gonna only give this 4.5 stars. Another thing I wanna talk about is how smart Sabine was to make Charlotte promise her that she would never hurt her. When I read that, I was like, oh shit, what is gonna happen? And I honestly expected some crazy stuff to happen. I didn't fully expect Sabine to be hunting down every single girl that Charlotte talks to and killing them. Like, that is so dark and messed up. And yeah, that just made her all the more terrifying. And honestly, because we know Sabine's character, simply just seeing her interact with any other character, I was just so on edge every time Sabine talked to somebody, because she is just so violent and cruel and lives for the thrill of the hunt and the kill. And I was just always on the edge of my seat, and I also hated that I still was so intrigued by this character and still wanted more from her, even though she was doing all of these horrible things. And I talked about all of this with Ozzy. I still need to call her because I haven't talked to her since I finished, because like I said, I literally just finished. I need to text her. But yeah, this was just a crazy wild ride. V.E. Schwab did a great job writing Sabine, how she's perceived by other characters in the book. Like, other characters talk about how alluring she is and captivating, and there's some sort of draw towards her that they can't seem to resist, and I felt that as the reader. So I just really liked that. I thought that was really cool that the author was able to do what she did. Like, it was just written so well. And then just scenes with Charlotte, I feel like I connected with Charlotte the most, just because she really does wear her heart on her sleeve. She feels her emotions so deeply, and I really relate to that myself. I saw some of myself in all of these girls. Maybe not quite Sabine. I feel like she really embodies like female rage. So maybe she embodies like the thoughts that people would like to act on. And I liked seeing Alice get confident in herself, but I'm getting like so out of order here. Charlotte, I was talking about Charlotte. 2 moments with her specifically just really tugged at my heartstrings. The first one, when she sees Jocelyn as an old woman, and Jocelyn thought it was her imagination because she's been haunted by Charlotte and regrets not acting on that, and that just hurt so much to read. Then the scene when Charlotte finally allows herself to open up and fall in love again, and Sabine is there to just ruin it with, I believe her name was Giada. I actually cried. I think I caught that on camera. I did cry reading that because it was just so, like, I just wanted Charlotte to be happy. Let's talk about Alice a little bit. Knowing that I was right about her sister, just the way that we kept getting glimpses of the sister really did make me think that, yes, her sister wasn't going to be alive anymore. And even reading that was hard. And I just really liked, like I said, seeing Alice become more confident in herself. Now, that was probably pushed by her anger and frustration of everything that happened to her. But ultimately, I do think it was for the best, because she was so caught up in her head. And when we get these flashbacks with her and her sister, really kind of feeling like she was living in her sister's shadow and didn't really know who she was without her sister there. I feel like having this experience happen to her really helped push her to start figuring out exactly what it is that she wants to do, and to not be afraid doing that. And I feel like that's also a good message to put out there, to live your truth, live your life how you want it, not for other people, and just kind of seize the moment if you can. And seeing the end of this book, going back to school and letting her parents know that she's switching schools and doing all these things and they're there to support her. I don't know, I did really like that. And I do like that after everything and how strongly she felt about, you know, that she's dead and she's not alive anymore and she can't get her life back, and Lottie did lie to her about that. I like that the author chose to say that in her head, she told herself that she's alive. and that she's going to try and make the best of the situation that she can. And I did really like that. And super smart also, putting grave dirt in the blood. That was, I did not see that coming, and I was shocked. And also her using her mom's ashes to do that, or not ashes, but like the soil, I guess, from her mom's funeral, also in a way of like, even though her mother was gone, she was still like protecting her kind of message as well. I don't know, that like just really touched me a lot. But yeah, that's all of my spoiler thoughts. So let's get into my spoiler-free thoughts. All right, so spoiler-free thoughts. I know I haven't been able to say a whole lot about this book. I am going to mention side character names, and I don't think it'll be a spoiler with anything that I'm saying, because I'm not going to say anything that does or does not happen to said characters. But something that I wanted to talk about, and I am looking at my notes here, that I don't think I mentioned in the last update or the first update, was Sabine's interaction with other characters. So Sabine first meets this couple or pair called Hector and Renata, and they really push Sabine to act on the worst traits and characteristics of herself, and you really see her just spiral, honestly. And then you see her meet these other side characters named Alessandro and Matteo, and they kind of help bring the humanity back in her. And I really liked seeing the difference between the two, and I feel like it was so important to have that experience with Alessandro and Matteo before she met Charlotte, because I don't think the relationship would have happened with Charlotte if she didn't meet those other two characters beforehand. Because even with having those moments and seeing her soften a little bit, and again having more of her humanness come back, I was still on edge every time she interacted with a character, because I just didn't know what the heck she was gonna do. And I really liked being on the edge of my seat and still wanting more from her, despite her really not being a good person. And it just speaks volumes to V.E. Schwab's writing in this book. Everything was just written so well. Even though I do think everything was written extremely well in this book, I'm still only giving it 4.5 stars just because of something that happened in the ending of this. I would not have that deter you at all from reading this book, because it is just such a good story. Seeing all three of these women's stories, they're so very different. I feel like you can connect with all of them on some level. Even Sabine, you know, I said in the spoiler section, and maybe even previously in this video, I feel like she is just like the embodiment of female rage. I feel like everyone has felt the way that she's felt before to some degree. And in that sense, I feel like she's relatable, and also just wanting to write her own story and not let anyone tell her what to do. You see Alice find confidence in herself and be more sure of herself, and you see like Charlotte just, she is the most human out of all of these girls. She's the one I related to the most. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She shows her emotions loudly and honestly unapologetically. I really hope I did this book justice. Maybe I'll put some text on the screen over if there's anything I forgot. But yeah, I loved this book. I tabbed the hell out of it like I showed you. And since this is still a good time jump since the last update, I may or may not have made a purchase relating to this book. I needed to get one of the special editions that I keep seeing online, because I am so in love with this story and these characters. I actually used Pango for the first time, and I ended up buying the Fairy Loot edition of this book because I don't own the subscription. I don't want to pay for a book subscription box, honestly, but I just fell in love with that edition of this book. So I've been waiting to open this on camera with you guys once I finish the book, so I'm finally gonna do that, and I'm very, very excited. Oh my god. This is so pretty, you guys. Oh my god. This looks even better in person, I'm not even gonna lie. First of all, this is the cover. These are the edges.
And then I believe this is a reversible dust jacket as well. So, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm too excited. This is reversible, so you can have the purple cover. This is the front of the book, the spine, the back. This is stunning. Oh my god. This is supposed to be Charlotte and Sabine dancing when they first meet. This is what sold me on this. The edges and these end pages is what sold me. And then this is Charlotte and Alice, I believe. This one is signed as well. And there's like a little note from V.E. Schwab for the Fairy Loot readers, which I am not, but that's cool that I now have 3 books signed by V.E. Schwab. The copy I just read from, this one, and then a special edition that I have of Addie LaRue, which, if you're new to my channel, you don't know, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by the same author, V.E. Schwab, is my favorite book of all time. So I'm really happy to have this in my collection. I honestly could see myself rereading this many times in the future. I am going to end this video here. I'm pretty positive it's going to be over an hour long, so I'm sorry about that. I'm also sorry that it's not until like the last half of this video that it even got to be a reading vlog, and I wish I could have read the other book that was an anticipated release for the last half of this, but it would have been even longer, and I'm still waiting for it on Libby, so realistically it's just not gonna work out. Maybe I'll have that in a different video. As always, I will have all of my links in the description box down below, my social media, my book club, and my Discord. I've also made a Pagebound account, and I think my Goodreads will be linked down there as well. Pagebound is this new site that has come out. I think it's getting turned into an app sometime this summer, so pretty soon here. But it's basically pitched as Reddit and Goodreads combined, and it's anti-AI, which I'm a big fan of, so it's been really cute. They have little quests and challenges over on there, which has been really fun to join. And definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't. Again, that'll all be linked down below, as well as a playlist of all of my YouTube videos if you want to see other videos that I've made here on this channel. I hope you all are doing well whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!